Hello students, welcome to our second video on matrices. So what we are going to do in this video is matrix multiplication. Okay, so let's get started now. Okay, the first thing is to know the rule for multiplication. Okay, so let us just read this handout. In the handout, what have I given about multiplication of matrices? This is a very important rule that you should remember. Okay, just read this 3-4 times, write it 10 times or 20 times, but memorize this rule. This rule, if you remember, it becomes very easy when it comes to matrix multiplication. Okay, because multiplication is what? After all, going to be multiplication of simple single digit numbers which you can just do within few seconds. But if you don't remember this rule, then you cannot proceed at all. Okay, so the rule is primary. The multiplication part is nothing great. It's very easy, just 2 or 3 digit, single digit numbers that you're going to multiply. Okay, what is the rule? Now let us read the rule together. Two matrices can be multiplied only if the number of columns of the first, okay, please underline number of columns of the first. So you have the first matrix A. Okay, now how many columns are there in that matrix A? You have to see that. Okay, if number of columns of the first is the same as the number of rows of the second, underline the words number of rows of the second. Okay, suppose you have a 2 into 3 matrix. This is the first matrix. Okay, how many columns are there? 3. Okay, 3 columns are there. Now if this is multiplied with a 3 by 4 matrix, how many rows are there? 3 rows are there. So columns and rows are same? Yes, it is the same. Then the matrix that you will get by multiplying it will be a 2 by 4. You take the number 2 from the first and you take the number 4 from the next. So you will get a 2 by 4 matrix. Is it clear? Okay. So you can multiply only matrices where the number of columns from the first and the rows from the second are the same. Okay. Now remember this rule and then let's get started with the problems. So in the previous lecture series we had done 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 12, 14 and 18. Okay, and as a homework I had asked you to do problem number 13, 18, 19 and 34. These 4 problems. Hope these are done. If you have any questions, please do post and I shall do a separate doubts video. Okay. Now let us go to multiplication of matrices. Now in multiplication of matrices, let me just reiterate the rule. What does the rule say? Okay, the number of columns of A equal to rows of B. Then only we can find A into B. Then only we can find A into B. Else AB does not exist. This is the word that you should use. AB does not exist. Else, if A columns are not equal to B rows. Okay, let's take an example now. Come to the exercise. Let's go to question number 4. No, not even question number 4. I will come to question number 4, 7, 8 in a bit. We'll take up some other question now. Easier multiplication question. Come to 15th one. Okay, where we are going to find AB. Okay, to find AB you need to first write down what is the A matrix and what is the B matrix. Let's write down A 2 minus 3 4 5. A is, this is question number 15, 2 minus 3 4 and 5. This is your A. Now what is your B? B is nothing but 1, 5, 6 and minus 7. 1, 5, 6 and minus 7. Now let me write the order of the matrix here. 2 by 2. The order here 2 by 2. So number of columns, number of rows equal. Therefore we can find AB. Okay. Now be very careful. See how we are going to find AB. Okay. Now when you're writing this, make it a big bracket because we are going to do this problem very slowly. Okay. We are first doing a 2 by 2 and 2 by 2. I'll show you 3 by 3 also in a later problem. Okay. So first we take up the first row. Okay. What is the first row? 2 and minus 3. Then we take the first column. Now we are going to multiply. 2 into 1 plus minus 3 into 6. Put this within a bracket. This is the first element. Okay. Now the second element will be the first row but the second column. That is 2 into 5 plus minus 3 into minus 7. Okay. Next 4 into 6 plus, sorry, see, this is where we have to be careful. Okay, now second row and the first column. 4 into 1 plus 5 into 6. The next one, second row, 4 into 5, second row and second column, plus, okay, close the bracket, then put a plus. This 4 into 5, then 5 into 5 into minus 7. Okay. Now let us find the result of this. 2 into 1 is 2 minus 18. Then we have 10 plus 21. Then we have 4 plus 30. Then we have 20 minus 35. These are the numbers. Now let us calculate. Minus 16, 31, 34, minus 15. Now check which answers match. So you have option A, minus 16, 31, 34 and a minus 15. So answer is option A. Okay. So what did we do here? We took row 1, column 1 for the first element. First element is row 1, column 1. Second element in the first row will be row 1, column 2. This will be row 2, column 1. This will be row 2, column 2. Okay. Now let us proceed. Now we will go to those 3 questions that we skipped. Question number 16 is going to be your self-practice. Okay. In the end I will write it. You have to find BA in question number 16. I will write it in the end, but now we'll go to question number 4, 7 and 8 which we skipped. Okay. Let's read through this question now. 2 matrices A and B are multiplied to get AB if both are rectangular, both have same order, number of columns of A is equal to the rows of B, number of rows of A is equal to the number of columns of B. See, this is why I told you memorize the line many times, because in the examination you will know that the answer is either C or D. but to be very confident, you must have learnt it thoroughly. Okay, what is the answer? Answer is option C. Fourth one, the answer is option C. The number of columns of A is equal to rows of B. Fourth one, the answer is C. Okay. Come to question number 7 now. 5 and 6 we have done already, so come to 7. In the 7th question, this is very interesting. If the order of matrix A is M into P, okay, the order, they have not given you actual numbers, they've just given you letters M and P. B is P into N. The order of matrix AB is what? Okay, AB is nothing but, you will pick up, you remember in our handout, I had given you an example. 2 by 3 is multiplied with 3 by 4. The resulting matrix is nothing but, you pick up the rows from the first one, 2, and the columns from the second one, 4. So 2 into 4 will be the resultant. Apply that to this problem. Okay, M into P, P into M. Row is M and in this column is N. So answer is M into N, option A. So 7th question, answer is option A. Okay, come to 8th question. This question we have to read a bit carefully. Okay, if A and B are matrices, then which from the following is true? Which is true? Okay, they are saying which of these is true. So let's go one by one. A plus B, when you add two matrices A plus B, it is not equal to B plus A, he's saying. Can that be ever possible? When you add A plus B, it will be equal to B plus A. Yes or no? Similarly, A transpose of transpose. What is A transpose? When you're transposing the matrix A. Now, when you transpose it again, what would you get? You would get the matrix A itself. So, A transpose of transpose is equal to A. But he is saying it is not equal. So, this is false. A is false. This is also false. B is also false. So, both are false. Okay. So, that's how we eliminate option A and option B. So, which means if we eliminate option A and B, D is automatically eliminated. D is automatically eliminated because D is nothing but all are true, which is not true, you know that. So now look at option C. AB is not equal to BA. It is true that AB is not equal to BA. You know why? Because see this question, AB will not be equal to BA. Because see in this question, when we multiplied AB, and when you multiply the other way around, the B matrix comes first and then the A matrix will come. So when you multiply the elements, the order of the elements will altogether change. So AB is not equal to BA is true. Okay, product of two matrices will not be equal to the reverse. So in addition, you can add in any order. Subtraction is different. Addition you can add in any order, but in multiplication you cannot multiply in any order. Okay. Let us go to question number. So we have done 4, 7, 8 and 15. Let's look at question number 16. 16 I told you, right? You can find B. Look at the options. None of the options are even matching with this, right? So that's why AB is not equal to BA. So please try this by yourself and see if you're able to get the answer. Okay. 17th question I told you is matrix multiplication. The symbol here is wrong. Okay, that's not plus. It has to be multiplication. So try question number 16 and 17. Then you can try question number 20. Okay, you can try question number 20. 20 is also multiplication. I will do question number 21. 21 because look at this different. No? This is a square matrix. This is a square matrix. We just now saw how to do a square matrix, but this is not a square matrix. What is the first one? Single column is column matrix. Single row is a row matrix. So we are multiplying something like that. Let's see what happens. Let's look at the numbers 1, 2, 5, 3, 4, 5, 6. Question number 21. 1, 2, 5, 3, 4. Sorry, let me write it with some space, else it will look like 34. 3, 4, 5 and 6. So let's write the order here. How many rows? Just one row. How many columns? 4 columns. Here how many rows? 3 rows. How many columns? Just one column. So what did I say? Say number of columns should be equal to number of rows. Then only we can multiply the two. Else we cannot multiply. Is it true? First thing you should always check this, okay? Number of columns is equal to number of rows. In fact, what you can do is when you start, you can name this as A, you can name this as B. You can say number of columns of A is equal to number of rows of B. Therefore, it can be multiplied. Okay, therefore we can multiply. Okay, let's start with the multiplication. Now also remember what should be the resultant matrix. Resultant matrix should be a 3 into 4. Okay, that is the row from the first, column from the second. 3 into 4 means what? 3 rows. You should have 3 rows and 4 columns. That's why I have accordingly drawn the brackets. Okay, you should start with this understanding. Otherwise, it may be difficult for you. In fact, I'm going to draw this a little bit more broader, because you need 4 columns, no? So let's write it as 3 into 4. Okay, so let's start. Sorry. Let's start. So first is first row with the first column. How did we write the elements? Just check here. Row 1, column 1 is the first element. Okay. The second element is row 1, column 2. Third element will be, in our case, row 1, column 3 and so on. Okay. So let us write it down. Row 1, column 1 is 3. Second element is 4. Third element is 5. Fourth element is 6, because it is 3 into 1, 4 into 1, 5 into 1, 6 into 1. Now next will be 3 into 2, 4 into 2, 5 into 2, 6 into 2. The next one would be 3 into 5, 4 into 5, 5 into 5 and 6 into 5. That's all. Okay. Now what would be the answer? This is going to be very easy for us to calculate. 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Here it will be 6, 8, 10, 12. Then all these numbers multiplied by a 5. So 15, 5 4s are 20, 5 5s are 25, 6 5s are 30. So this is a 3 by 4 matrix. This is our answer. Are we clear? So I suggest that all of you first write this part. The moment you write this, then your confidence will build as to what should be the final answer. I need to have 3 rows and 4 columns. Then you start multiplying. Okay. How are we doing it? Row 1, column 1. Row 1, column 2. First row is always like that. Row 1, column 3. Row 1, column 4. And then it is row 2, column 1. Like that it will go. Then row 2, row 3, column 1. Like that. Okay. That's how the multiplication is. Now what are the questions I've asked you to do by yourself? 16, 17 and question number 20. These are the 3 self-practice problems that I'm going to give you from this particular lecture. Okay students, so see you in the next video. So happy learning and keep posting if you have any doubts. Okay.